Hello, and welcome to MadeinAfrica TV, where we bring you content that promote and celebrate African heroes from diverse generations. So kindly subscribe and hit the notification button so that anytime we come your way with a new video celebrating any of our African heroes, you would also have the opportunity to watch and learn more. Now, in today's episode, we take a look at the first barrister produced straight from Cape Coast. Your guess is as good as mine. John Mensah Sarbah, who lived between June 3rd, 1864 to November 27, 1910, a patriot and a statesman. He was one of the most outstanding nationalists of the Gold Coast at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th. He made a lasting mark on national life in politics, education, and law. Let's get to learn more about him. One of the oldest legal luminaries in Ghana is the man from Cape Coast, John Mensah Sarbah. He was born on 3rd June 1864 to Mr. John Sarbah. He had his education at the Wesleyan School and later moved to Taunton School, Devon in England. He later moved to Lincoln's Inn in London in 1884 to study law and qualified as a barrister in 1887, thus making him the first African from the Gold Coast to reach such a height. Upon reaching Cape Coast after his exploits in England, Kofi Mensah, as he was affectionately known, decided to assist his father, but unfortunately, his father died in 1892, and this devastated him badly. This didn't deter him from carrying on his Pan-Africanist activities, even though he seemed to have believed slightly in the imperialist basic assumptions. He was, however, convinced that the crown colony system being run had lots of evil behind it. As a result, he aided the likes of J.W. de Graaf Johnson, J.P. Brown, to establish the Aborigines Right Protection Society to watch over the interests of the people of Gold Coast and the African population. One of the major achievements of Mensah Sarbah was the abolition of the Lands Bill of 1897, which threatened the power of the traditional leaders in terms of the use and ownership of lands. This same evil bill had been passed in Kenya, and so the traditional authorities in Kenya, when Governor Sir William Maxwell, whose term of office started in 1895 and ended in 1997, refused to withdraw the bill. Sarbah advised the ARPS to send a delegation to England to petition against its passage. The delegation, which Sarbah refused out of modesty to lead, went to London in 1898 and succeeded in getting the Lands Bill disallowed. The ARPS gave him money because they felt that it was an honor to serve his country, but he refused. The ARPS then used the money to establish a press which published the Gold Coast Nation, founded in 1912, and the Gold Coast Times, founded in 1923, one of the earliest publishing news houses in then Gold Coast. Another huge inroad made by Mensah Sarbah was his interest in the promotion of secondary education as a way to enable Africans to be enlightened. His first act in this direction was to found a Darton scholarship at Taunton School in memory of his younger brother Joseph Darton Sarbah, who had died in 1892 in England. For financial reasons, the Wesleyan Mission closed down the Cape Coast Wesleyan School where he had been trained. He and some other nationalists revived it, financed it, and renamed it the Collegiate School. Upon returning from another visit from Europe in 1903 together with William Edward Sam, he and Sam promoted an enterprise called the Mfantsipim Public Schools Limited. This led in the creation of Mfantsipim School in 1904. Mfantsipim School was initially merged with the Collegiate School, retaining the name Mfantsipim School, which still today produces a lot of graduates. On the strength of the good reports the school had received, the Wesleyan Mission resumed its management under the principalship of the Reverend W.T. Balmer. Sarbah is said to have given the school its motto, Grin Shekan, meaning think and look ahead, as well as its emblem. Some of the products that have come out of Mfantsipim School include Alex Kwesi Saki, former president of the General Assembly of UN, Dr. K. A. Buzia, Kofi Annan. As a result of his exploits, Sarbah House at Mfantsipim is named after him. Over 50 years after his death, the University of Ghana in 1963 named Mensah Sarbah Hall after him for his services to education. As a lawyer, Sarbah was interested in spreading knowledge of Fanti laws and of the Fanti Constitution. He therefore published 2 books, Fanti Customary Laws in 1897 and Fanti National Constitution in 1906. He compiled and published Fanti Law Reports in 1904, but this was incomplete because he was refused permission to take any more note from court records. His Fanti Customary Laws is still regarded as an indispensable book for lawyers in Ghana. By these implications, he began the tradition of educated nationalist politicians finding time to write about the country's history and institutions. His successors in this field were J.E. Casely Hayford and Dr. J.B. Dankwa. He was interested in court reforms and tried to obtain better protection for accused persons during trials, especially in cases in which colonial district commissioners were biased against certain Africans. He would stand up tall and win such cases. He also proposed that native tribunals should be given a definite and well-defined place in the judicial structure. This reform too has now been adopted. However, after all this hard work, it so happened that on November 27, 1910, the statesman John Mensah Sarbah passed away. Remember that if it's the first time you're watching us on MadeinAfrica TV, subscribe and hit the notification button, and make sure that you also comment, like and share, so that anytime we come your way with more videos, you'll be the first to get access to it and watch it.